take the tour of the Whaley House. If you're curious, this is the little ticket area. You go into the gift shop and you purchase your tickets. I believe the tickets were like 25 bucks a person, and the tours happen every 20 minutes, so 520, 546, and so forth. We got the 540, so let's go inside and just go check it out.
Takes years. Now, with that in mind, just a few museum-type rules. Want to make sure no eating, drinking, smoking, or vaping inside. Sorry, I know this might come here today to eat, drink, smoke, and vape in a museum, right? Also just want to make sure that you guys look with your eyes, not your hands. Everything in here is very old, so it's a little bit fragile. But photos, totally fine. Take as many pictures as you like here in the home, because you never know. You might get lucky and capture a ghost in one of those pictures.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I want to videotape and I take
Just be
pictures.
respectful of other people on that one. But yeah, that's totally fine. But yeah, my name's Honey. I'm going to be your tour guide. I'll take you guys through the house, tell you all the history, all the mystery of what makes this America's most fun.
Alright.
So if you guys are ready, head on inside.
go.
Have a seat on the benches.
There we go. Have a seat on the benches, guys. Oh, that's fine.
This is here at San Diego's second courthouse from 1869 to 1871. This room here is a lot of other things as well. Originally built to be a granary, they stored grains in here. It's also been a Sunday school, polling place, dairy, bar, courthouse, meeting hall, dance hall, restaurants were in here, schoolhouse, a museum. It's a billiards hall at one time. It's all sorts of stuff. The whole home you'll see is kind of this way. This Thomas Whaley, businessman that he was, and loved to make money out of his home. So everybody said, you know what? Also a few of his own businesses here as well. You're going to see that as we go through. Now, is anybody here interested in the ghosts at all? Yeah,
Yes.
Of course, as far as around here. Now, I can't guarantee that you won't have a paranormal experience here in the home, but I do have a few tips for you. I want to make sure that you remain open to it. If you feel anything odd, physically or emotionally, don't just write it off. Also, use your senses. You guys hear anything, see anything, taste. Not that one, it's dusty, don't like anything here, right? But smells, there are a few ghostly smells when you encounter walking through the home. Tell me more about those we're going through. It's kind of tiny stories. I can tell you this, if you smell carne asada, it's probably this old time Mexican cafe across the street. Nothing to fear, guys, there's no spirits here in the home. Anybody who still remains during their lives, this was simply their family home, nowadays we're their guests inside. So with that in mind, this room here is a courtroom after all, so all right. You guys are going to head on into that next room over here.
Oh, that?
This is spooky.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the General Store. Yes, this here is Thomas Whaley's General Store. Loves make business ventures here in San Diego, but he wasn't originally from here. No, he actually came from New York. That's where his family's from. But he didn't want to just ride on his family's coattails forever. So he decides on New Year's Day, 1849, he's going to set sail from New York, sails all the way around the Horn of South America, and he ends up in San Francisco. I see why I say that. Makes sense. Makes sense. It's a gold rush. It's 1849. San Francisco is really the place that you want to be. But he wasn't there as a gold miner. No, he's there as a salesman, selling picks and shovels to the gold miners. And he made a lot of money doing it. But he wasn't the luckiest. No, there's actually an arson fire ends up burning down his business. In phase 3 rebuilding, Thomas Whaley decides he's going to move down here to San Diego, attracted here by all the cheap land, they say. In San Diego, cheap land? Yeah, hasn't been that way in a very long time, right? Now the courtroom here, the granary, was completed in 1856. Stepped through the threshold, 1857. The rest of the house we now stand in. Would have lived upstairs with his family and had his general store down here, selling all sorts of stuff to the locals. Would have been selling fabric to the ladies, tobacco to the men, liquor to the judge, liquor to the judge. It's a courthouse right next door. Judge who worked there was quite friendly with the spirits, liked his liquor. Actually wrote that license on the wall back there for Thomas Whaley. $15 for 3 months. So we sell liquor in the Courthouse. It's crazy. It's a wild deal. Thomas Whaley is a very savvy businessman working at a deal like that, but he wasn't always the luckiest. Courthouse, when it's here, is a little bit of a fiasco. It's getting rent money from the county to have the courthouse here in its home, as well as store court documents upstairs. But 1871 rolls around, and the court ends up moving south to downtown San Diego. He's not happy because that meant he was going to be losing out on his rent money. So he decides, out of spite, he's going to lock his doors and not give up those court documents from the town asked him. Not the best idea, as you can imagine. Townspeople, one day when he's away on business, they storm the house. They smash up his windows. They break down his doors. They run inside, and legend has it, actually held his wife Anna at knife point, and they took those documents back. Thomas Whaley got back to town, saw that damage they caused his home, hears they threatened his wife. He's furious. Demands the county pay him back for damages. But the county refuses. They say, sorry, Mr. Whaley, this is not a state-sanctioned posse, not the county's problem. Now, this is a man who respected business, thus he named a few of his sons after business associates. Myself, I'm going to name my kids after Transformers. Optimus Prime Schmidt, maybe, who knows? You have Francis and Whaley here. Frank became a very well-respected man here in the community. He ran the newspaper here locally, had a few other business ventures of his own. Became a lawman, justice of the peace a little bit north of here. Very well-respected wherever he went. Much to the contrast of the life lived by the youngest son over here, George. I'm skipping one of them. Yes, Tommy Jr., the boy in the middle here. Now Tommy, we're going to talk a little bit more about Tommy upstairs. A little hint for you, we don't have any photos of him. No, we only have this here kind of creepy drawing of a baby to represent him. Wonder why. Now George, kind of the black sheep of the family, he wanted to be a musician, wanted to play violin professionally. His father Thomas just could not see him making a living doing this. So they argued a lot, they fought. And George, when he's 19, he's done with it. Storms out of the house, drops the Whaley name, ends up going by Delaunay, his mother's maiden name for the rest of his life. Him and Thomas never made peace, never reconciled. And in 1890, Thomas Whaley, still harboring that resentment towards his son for leaving, actually dies in a fit of rage, they say. It's probably a heart attack or a stroke. Whatever it is, though, that kills Thomas Whaley, he does die a very angry man. So I would say you might still feel that domineering presence here in the home. You might smell cigars, smoke. Thomas Whaley was a chronic cigar smoker. And especially here in the general store, many report feelings of somebody who's watching them.
Interesting.
Thomas Whaley, right? In that oval frame there. Keeping an eye over his store and his home all these years. Now, we'll be moving on. Is anybody feeling a little bit brave? Like to open the door over there for us? Go ahead, go ahead.
I want to do it.
Is there a fire here? Set up there?
Oh, so that's, it's just supposed to be from the lamps, right? You'll see it a few places in the house. It's actually just paint, but it's supposed to look nice. Yeah, just the dining room, phone set on in, guys, not just beer. That small set right every now and then. I don't think I'm too sensitive to those. Yeah, I've had it.
Certain spot?
You know, it's not really, for me at least, it's not specific places. I feel like the theater upstairs is kind of one of the creepier rooms at night, right? But yeah, it seems like everywhere in the house there's a lot of experiences.
So you've been here one day, sir?
Yeah, I mean, like you open the place up, you go to the front of the night, yeah.
By yourself?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whaley family dining room. Yes, this here's a place where they share their meals, share their lives, a lot of meals they would have shared. You see Anna Whaley, the mother's here over there as a younger woman. Central in this right here is a great-grandmother. Kind of cool, 4 generations of family members in that photo there. She had 6 kids of her own. 3 sons who have seen them in the last room, 3 daughters we're going to talk about in here as well. My God, 6 kids, it's a lot of kids. Leave this woman alone, I say, let her sleep. You have Anna Amelia, the first daughter, that rectangular frame over there. She's notable because though there were 6 kids, she herself is the only one who had any who survived to adulthood. So the Whaley family descendants came from her. Then you have Violet, that oval frame there. Now Violet, we're going to talk quite a bit more about her upstairs. So do you remember what she looks like? One of the bigger tragedies here in the home, I think. And then you have Lillian in the corner back there. Now Lillian, she's the youngest daughter, the last one to live here in the home. She's a librarian here in San Diego for about 30 years. And she lived here until 1952. So you have Whaley's living here off and on from 1858 all the way through 1952. Now Anna, during her life, she was a mother, but she's also a grandmother and great-grandmother as well. They say that her favorite great-grandchild was young Marion Reynolds. So you're here, also here, right? This is Marion with her mother Mabel. And Marion and Mabel, they live about 35 miles north of here in the town of Oceanside, but they often made the journey down here to visit the Whaleys here at the Whaley House. Keep in mind, you didn't have the 5 freeway there back then, so it's a little bit more of an adventure to get down here, a little bit more involved. So they spent a lot of time here when they visited and wanted to make the most out of that journey. But sadly, Marion, as a child, she had a bit of an incident. Playing in the yard one day, she actually stumbles across a small glass bottle with a rattling cap. To a kid, it seems like a toy. It has this rattling sound, but to an adult at the time, others noted that there's actually poison in the bottle. Playing with it, the cap pops off, a very sweet smell emanates from the bottle. What's inside, it tastes quite sweet as well. It's none other than Kellogg's ant paste. Give an example of it in this box here. Now, Kellogg's ant paste was a very deadly ant poison. It's a mixture of honey and arsenic. Yeah, it's a perfect storm. Tastes just like candy, sounds like a toy. She ate quite a bit of it, and she ended up passing away just 10 days shy of her 3rd birthday because of this. Now, they do say that you may encounter young Marion's presence here in the dining room these days. You might feel like tugging your pants, maybe a small hand, reach up and grab onto yours. But don't fear, if young Marion does reach out to you, I promise it's a very positive thing. Just makes you feel safe and comfortable. It's nothing to fear. Now, we'll be headed upstairs next. Before we do, I want to point out a few things to you. You may notice doorknobs here in the home are a little bit low. Same thing with furniture. It's all quite diminutive, small as well. That door back there, it's a little bit short as well. Average man back then stood about 5'5". Thomas Whaley, the father of the home, was around 5'2". His wife Anna was 4'9". So keep that in mind as we head upstairs. This was her home, purpose-built for them. Things like the banister, the railing, you'll see are a little bit low. Stairs are let out of whack. They're old. Don't worry when tripping, falling, getting hurt. Because of course, if you were to fall and die in the Whaley House tonight, you're stuck here for the rest of eternity. Right? So be careful, guys. Be careful. Get in upstairs there, folks. You have a seat in the theater.
These are the stairs.
Is this the baby's room?
Yeah. All right, folks. For this room, the first thing you probably notice here is that stage. And you got a theater here in the house. Many people that see those curtains think they're a little bit dark and ominous, think somebody's going to try to jump out from behind or scary or something. But rest assured, we're not that kind of haunted house. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to San Diego's very first commercial theater. First theater in San Diego, here in the house, here in this room. Thomas Whaley rented the space here out to a man named Thomas Tanner, and Tanner and his theater troupe, they're the ones who did the renovations, and they turned this place here into a theater. And they say that on opening night there will fit over 150 guests here in this room. So they say, yes, 150 guests in the confines of this very small room. Here's the thing, it's the first theater in San Diego, first real thing to do. Everybody really comes out of the woodwork when they open it. They really did pack the place. Now Thomas Tanner and his theater troupe, they're also known to be quite the lecherous bunch. So ladies, here in this room, you might feel somebody playing with your hair, perhaps an arm creep around your waist. And gentlemen, of course, I don't want to leave you out. You might feel a hot breath on your ear or a hand creep down the small of your back. But don't fear, and also don't fall in love with these ghosts so they flirt with you. So, keep in mind, during their lives, they were simply actors. And much like myself, they work for tips. Thank you. But yes, Thomas Tanner, he wasn't here too long. No, he actually dies just 17 days after opening night. From what? It's a bit of a mystery. Yeah, we're not exactly sure what kills Thomas Tanner. Many people will tell you that he dies of consumption, which was tuberculosis. Many people will tell you that he had syphilis. That's why I tell you don't want to lick anything in here, right? But whatever it is that kills him, it's not the only spirit that many have encountered here in the second story. 1858, that's when Thomas Whaley and his family, they move into their grand two-story brick estate. It's not soon after that tragedy strikes. Due on the silent time, Tommy Jr. is just a baby, just a year and a half old, and he actually catches the fatal case of scarlet fever. He passes away just 17 months of age in what would have been the nursery, this room right here. Now, this is devastating for the family, but especially the mother, Anna. She really lost a piece of her heart when this boy died. And it's for this reason that many, as they gaze into that room, they still feel that residual sorrow, that helplessness that the mother Anna would have felt to lose her child so young. But keep in mind, it's just the beginning of the tragedy for the Whaleys. They also had a daughter named Violet. Saw her photo downstairs, very intelligent young woman. She wrote poetry, quite beautiful by all accounts as well. Anybody would have been lucky to grab her hand in marriage if she ever chose. And at 19, she did. Ended up marrying a man named George Bertolacci. But her and George, they weren't together too long. It was less than 2 months into the marriage, day before Valentine's Day, he abandoned her. It's terrible. Didn't even leave her face to face, just left her a letter. And in this letter, he came clean about a lot, but really it boils down to this. He was a gambler, he was a drunk, he liked his ladies, he accrued quite a few debts because of this. All throughout the American Southwest, there's now men trying to hunt him down and to pay up on these debts. That's why he skips town, doesn't want to face up to any of this. And Violet, she's mortified. In this letter he says to her, he says, please Violet, I know I messed up, but find it in your heart. Give me 2, 3, maybe 4 years. I'll come back. I just got to figure a few things out first. You guys give him a chance? 4 years? I wouldn't personally, no. Yeah. And she doesn't. She divorces him, moves back to home, 19 years old now, a divorced woman. But though I think it's the right decision, nobody else in town at the time really felt the same. It's a huge scandal. They spread these salacious rumors about her. Couldn't escape it. Anywhere she went, it just seemed to get worse and worse. And ultimately, just feeling like there's never going to be any other way out, she attempts suicide. Tries to drown herself in the well that would have been out back. But luckily, her father Thomas, working outside, he hears her crying out. He's able to hoist her out of that well. Brought her inside the home, and they had a doctor check her out. Doctor says this girl, Violet, she's suffering from extreme bouts of melancholy. It's depression. That's what we call it these days. On doctor's advisement, they keep her on suicide watch in the master bedroom. Right. Now, this would have been round-the-clock supervision from her mother, Anna, and her younger sister, William. But though they watched her, they didn't really help her. She continued to spiral, continued to get worse, but she did get quite a bit better at hiding it. It's about a month and a half in because of this, she's able to slip away, and she ends up getting a hold of her father's revolver, his handgun. Takes this gun with her out to the outhouse. It's the only place we have any privacy, and she ends up turning it upon herself. 6:30 in the morning. Thomas Whaley and his family, they're in the dining room downstairs preparing breakfast, and they hear that gunshot just ring out in the community. He panics, not knowing where his daughter Violet is. He runs outside searching for her. Ultimately, he comes upon that outhouse, finds the door locked, he kicks it in, and he finds his daughter Violet bleeding to death inside. He scoops his dying daughter up in his arms, and he brings her into the parlor downstairs. Still alive, just barely hanging on. Now, we'll be headed downstairs to that parlor next, of course. Take a look at the 2 rooms here, the master bedroom and the nursery. I have a little bit more context on them. But when you're ready, you're going to meet me downstairs.
You want to go see?
You're gonna go down?
Oh, you can feel like the
It's cooler down here.
I don't know about you, but when I walked out here, I feel different than upstairs.
Really?
Yeah, I feel different. Where are we supposed to go?
Down here? You said in the parlor. Go that way, I guess.
Where do we go?
I guess this way. This way?
Yeah, it'll probably stay up on that way, and we're going
There it
Right
is.
on there.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, so.
Let me grab a seat.
Oh, okay.
I felt this one last
I
time.
think it felt like.
Right here? This is the parlor.
Wait, what did he say this was?
The parlor.
No, like what happened? This is where they brought Violet to show her.
It's like the thing that Jacob said.
This is the only room I felt in.
I kind of smell when I go from downstairs.
It smells okay. It's not burning everywhere. I mean, in here I think you're more likely to have a feeling than the smoke. That's spoilers. Oh my god, you should stand under. Stand under for me. Alright, it's gonna give you a different feeling. Yeah. It's not the feeling I want. That was
You already said that she's on there.
No, I know. No, I think
Now, Thomas Whaley, he finds his daughter Violet bleeding to death outside. He scoops her up in his arms, brought her into the parlor here, and he lays her down on the settee that would have been near this window. They say that young Violet should not cry out in pain, should not make a sound, she simply slips away in about 10 minutes. No time to get a hold of a doctor. And you might be thinking that's enough to justify all the paranormal experiences people have felt in the home here for decades, all the tragedies of the Whaley family. But keep in mind, there's a little bit more to the tale. Thomas Whaley actually built his home here on top of the original hanging grounds for San Diego. Yes, he used to do hanging executions here before the home stood. And he knew this, because he had witnessed this last execution. September 18th of 1852, about 171 years ago now, they hanged a man known as Yankee Jim Robinson. And Yankee Jim, he got hanged for stealing a rowboat. It's a little bit extreme, maybe, right? Just a little bit. It's grand larceny. That's what they pinned him with, and this is a hangable offense at the time. Now, Yankee Jim, he did have a very gruesome death, to say the least. The average man back then stood about 5'5". Yankee Jim, about 6'5", about a foot taller than average at the time. So he steps up to the gallows, he tied him up, he fell, and his feet, they actually bounced off the ground. Yeah, they tied the noose just a little bit too long. So he's hanging there, his neck unbroken, his feet just barely scraping the ground. He hangs there struggling about an hour before he finally dies. The whole town just watching him struggle as he does. And Thomas Whaley is in that crowd, sees Yankee Jim hanging there twitching. He says, wow, what a great place to build my home. That's really what it's cheap. That's what it comes down to, right? Nobody else wants a place where they used to kill people, so we got a very good deal on it. And to prove that he's not a superstitious man, he does have this archway here erected in the exact location where the gallows would have once stood. Now, they do say that those who linger beneath or near the archway these days, those who lean up against it, you might feel an odd sensation of some kind. Maybe some tingling in the chest, some heat in your head, feel like you can't catch a full breath of air, that sort of thing. Also, there's no police legend here. They say that if an officer of the law, especially San Diego police officers, called to the grounds and they walk beneath this archway here, they'll actually step away with red rope marks about their neck. A little bit of Yankee Jim's revenge. Wasn't too happy about getting hanged for stealing a rowboat. Likes to take his anger out on San Diego lawmen these days, so they say. Now, Yankee Jim, one of the scarier presences here in the home, a lot of people feel, but even so, think that the strongest entity here is actually that of Anna Whaley, the mother. Yes, Anna Whaley. Her husband Thomas was often away on business, just doing whatever he does while he's gone for extended periods of time, but Anna, she really held the home together, kept things going. She would ran the house, took care of the family, ran his businesses even while he's gone. Also had quite a few parties here, so they say. Musical soirees, she would have called them. Would have played songs for guests on her pump organ here. Very special artifacts of the family to the home. That thing there, it's about 200 years old. Brought it with her from New York when she married her husband Thomas. And think about it, this is before recorded music, so what a treat this would have been for all the guests. Now they do say that Anna Whaley is actually still quite a gracious host, even as a ghost. A gracious ghost host. Our hallmark is lavender perfume, so you guys smell lavender here in the home. We do associate that with Anna Whaley, the mother. I think that's just her checking in on you, making sure you have a good time here in the home all of these years.
Room.
Now, we'll be headed outside next. Of course, take a look around the parlor here. Maybe take a picture beneath the murder arch. Very Instagrammable moment, so they tell me. But when you're ready, you're going to meet me outside. You have a few more stories for you.
Upstairs when we sat down in the theater room, I sat down, I was about to pull my shirt down, someone started flipping up like this. I was like, hey, stop it. The girls grabbed my shirt and started flipping it up like this.
You feel anything?
My shirt was going
I feel dizzy. I felt dizzy when I sat it right here. I felt dizzy.
Let's see.
Sorry, suicide couch.
Yeah. Something like
When I walk from downstairs to upstairs, you can feel there's a change of like energy. I could be fat.
Interesting.
Where do we go?
All right, folks, just gonna have you guys meet by the barrels over there. I do have a few more stories for you. The home where we stand over here. Second story, window furthest away from us. That there's window to the master bedroom. For decades now, we've had guests come here and tell us they'll actually see a woman in all Victorian dress looking out that far window. I think that that's the spirit of young, violent Whaley people are encountering as she was kept on suicide watch in that room for the last month and a half of her life. Also keep in mind that room there is completely blocked off the railing day and night. Nobody goes in there. If you see somebody up there, chances are it's probably not one of us. Probably. Now the Whaleys have a few pets as well, three of which we know by name. There was Dolly the Terrier, Chubby the Pug, and Dude the Mutt. It's great names, very good naming pets here. If you're lucky here on the grounds, you might feel something brush up against your leg, cold nose upon your ankle. I promise you, it's not me. It's probably just one of those Whaley family pets. You're trying to give you a little bit of ghostly puppy love. Lots of fun if it happens. Now the paranormal, very fun indeed, but not the only legacy that the Whaleys have left us. This home here has stood for over 166 years now. This is the oldest example of a two-story brick home in all of Southern California. It stands as a testament to the tenacious businessman that Thomas Whaley was, as well as a monument to the mother that Anna was. It's really the reason that the home still stands. She keeps it together, keeps it going. Also looking around here on the ground, you'll see a number of these pepper trees here. All of these here were planted by the Whaleys, and they're all over a century and a half old. It's very special living links to the past we have these days. But keep in mind, while these trees in particular, it's quite special indeed. The one closest to the wagon there near the road, we know was planted by young Violet Whaley. Now, I've had a number of guests come here and tell me that those very strong presence in that tree. Nothing malicious, nothing scary. It just feels like somebody's there greeting us. How would you like it? Violet is a woman who loved the arts, culture, really wanted to see the world, but never really got the chance because she ends up dying so young. But really wonderful guests such as yourselves who come to visit the Whaley family home from literally all over the world these days. She gets to live vicariously through you, through all of your lived experiences. Now, that's about it. It's about the tour. But before you leave, let me give you these parting words. Do hope I didn't scare you too much with all my piano slamming and such. The only reason that you'd have to hide is, of course, if you forgot to tip your guy. Hope you guys had fun. My name's Honey. If you hated it, my name's Tim or Bob. And if you guys did like it, also stack these blue and white comic cards here. Take one of these, fill them out, drop them off at the gift shop over there. Those two help us out quite a bit as well. And for some reason, you guys don't carry gold coins. If you're not, your tour guide has a Venmo as well. Yes, but thank you. I really appreciate you guys taking the tour. If you guys have any questions on anything, I'll hang out here and answer for you. Just love answering questions and stuff, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions, guys?
I'm good. What about you, Jasmine? Were you scared?
Yes, but it was like equally as scary as the graveyard.
Yeah. Well, you felt some things in both places, right?
Yeah. But like when I lean against the arch, like my neck hurts and it still kind of hurts.
You still feel it?
Like yeah.
Because that was what someone was saying.
And the whole time in that room, I had like a headache
Really?
right here, like it hurts.
Wow.
And when I went outside, it's kind of like going away. Like I don't feel it.
I kind of felt a little bit of a pressure.
Yeah.
And I was like,
See, that's what I was feeling in the graveyard. When
You're feeling
when
the
I would go
pressure?
near that.
oh, that's
Wow.
weird.
In that one like room with the piano and stuff. I don't know if it was like the AC, but like I felt like someone's pulling.
Because I'm tugging on your pants. So that concludes our trip on the Whaley House. A lot of history, a lot of historical events, a lot of scariness, and it feels like everybody kind of felt something. I didn't feel anything, but the girls and Nat felt something
Yeah.
also.
I
So
felt a little bit of a like pressure.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that me? Or, but I don't feel it now. So, and then our daughter had kind of like a little bit of a headache in one of the
she had
rooms.
her neck kind of wasn't feeling
Yeah.
well. So interesting.
Interesting. Oh, and Christian could like had a little bit of a hard time, not breathing, but just like felt like his breath was different. So I don't know.
Why don't you guys come and check it out? You tell us what
You tell us what you feel,
feeling anything.
what you felt, or if you felt anything. I don't know.
All right. See you guys later.